5,000 people losing their lives after contracting the virus. Official advice here is also to remain at home wherever possible. Community Secretary Robert Jenrick says the government won't rule out a tougher lockdown if people don't comply.
This is very serious. People need to follow that advice. We have now closed the pubs, the restaurants, the clubs, the indoor gyms and leisure activities. If people don't follow that advice, we'll clearly have to consider other options, but none of us want to go down that route.
Well, letters will be sent to 1.5 million people in England this week who are considered most risk from COVID-19. It will tell those people not to leave their homes for at least 12 weeks. Military planners have been called in to help coordinate support for those people, and the government says medicines and food will be delivered to those who need it. Sainsbury's says it'll introduce a daily half-hour opening reserved exclusively for NHS staff. And former Manchester United midfielder Marouane Fellaini has become the first player in the Chinese Super League to test positive for coronavirus. His club, Shandong Lueng, says he was diagnosed after returning to China on Friday. That's the latest. I'm Tanya Snuggs.
This is Lyca Radio.
Lyca Radio.
Lyca Radio weather.
All right, update. Today is a dry day with some sunshine there. High cloud may turn into a little bit hazy later, but it's still going to feel a bit chilly there. So make sure you are dressed up warm. Top temperature, 9 degrees Celsius.
The flight update is brought to you by Skylord Travel in association with Emirates Airlines.
All right, this morning's update on flights. Delhi to London Heathrow, BA flight 256, landing 3:20 on time this afternoon. And Mumbai to London Heathrow, Air India flight 131, arriving 11:30 this morning. Everything is very limited on flights, so please check with your travel operator for any timing differences.
The flight update was brought to you by Skylord Travel. For all your travel needs, call 0208 582 1111 or visit skylordtravel.com.
Happy weekend by MeraBoiler.com. Their special offer, Valiant Boiler with 10 years part and labor guarantee with 0% finance available. MeraBoiler.com.
Lyca Radio.
Talking Points with Keith Vaz on Lyca Radio 1458 AM.
Thank you, Sonia, for another wonderful show. Good morning, everyone. I'm here with my guest, Chandrakant Babubhai Patel, more popularly known as CB Patel, or simply as CB, who is, as we all know, the doyen of Asian publications. He's the editor of the News Weekly's Asian Voice, Gujarat Samachar, and many more. Good morning, CB.
Good morning, Keith, and good morning to all the listeners of Lyca Radio.
Well, here we are on the quiet in your flat overlooking Hoxton Market. Below is where the newspaper is produced and has been produced for now 48 years. Does it seem odd when it's so quiet and actually, given the work of this building, it is so noisy and busy during the week?
This area, though it is in central London, it is the really quiet area, Hoxton. It's now a trendy area, if I may say so. When I bought the building 41 years ago, the world was different. This place is not only my residence, my office, but this is where I read. I've got a separate room for my study. And I genuinely feel that I'm the luckiest person to live. Though the place is an apartment, but so what? I enjoyed it.
Now, I'm going to take you back to the start of this remarkable journey when you were born in the Gujarat. You can take the man out of Gujarat, but you can't take Gujarat out of the man. So you take us back to the early days of CB Patel.
This is not only for Indians or Gujaratis. Everyone, where you spent your childhood and formative years, that is your home. I'm 83 years old in 4 weeks' time. I spent only 23 years in India, 6.5 years in Tanzania. I owe a lot to all the places. But Gujarat, where I was born, when I went to primary school, secondary school, university, I know the rivers and the woods and the jungles and the libraries, and I can't forget. It is part of me and I'm a part of them.
But from there, like so many other Asians in Britain, to the journey from the Gujarat to East Africa, Why did your parents go there?
It's to cut it very short. I had 3 major failures in 1959. I failed my army interview in Bangalore for the Dehradun Military Academy. Then I could not go to Mumbai or Bombay in those days for my IPS exam because there was a flood in River Narmada and the train's journey was stopped. And I realized that I have to make a move elsewhere. So I had an opportunity to go to Tanzania. And I went there in May 1960.
Right. And then from there, you made the journey to Britain, arriving in 1966. Why did you make that journey if Tanzania was going to be your new home?
Tanzania was supposed to be my residence for some time, but I realized that by the time, within 1 year of my going into Tanzania, the country became independent. It's a wonderful country. The people are very nice. But I realized that I have to do something else. I had a job in civil service. I started my study for LLB, London University external student, and Barrett Law external student. In those days, Keith, one had to study Latin to qualify for LLB.
Really?
So through lingua franca, I learned a bit of Latin also. But then I passed 1 or 2 exams. So in 66, I came to London. I was British citizen all the time in East Africa. So I came to London to complete my law studies.
And to live where?
I lived in small digs, about 4 different places within 6 months. In Archway, Kentish Town, Kempton Town, and then Streatham.
So you're definitely a Londoner.
I'm a proud Londoner, and I owe everything to London.
Okay. We're going to take a short break now. We've talked about your early life. We're going to talk about how you got involved in the newspaper business. But as you know, I ask my guests to choose some songs that are important to their lives. And I want to know what your first song is and why that particular song is so important to you.
Mehdi to vavi mandve eno ranga gayo Gujarat. Every Gujarati and everybody from Western India know this song. It is about Garba, the culture of Gujarat, the culture of India. And the song was in Gujarati, but it was used ipso facto in Bollywood films also.
Okay, so let's take a short break with your first choice of songs, and we'll be back very shortly. This is Keith Vaz on Lyca Radio 1458.
चालती जुओ गुर्जरी नार अरे भाई जुओ गुर्जरी नार अरे भाई जुओ गुर्जरी नार मेहंदी सेवावी माळवे नो रंग गयो गुजरात रे मेहंदी रंग लाग्यो मेहंदी सेवावी माळवे नो रंग गयो गुजरात रे मेहंदी
वाकड़ी सिरे पाघड़ी राती अरे लांबो डगलो मुछो वाकड़ी सिरे पाघड़ी राती अरे बोल बोल तो थोड़ी थोड़ी खेल कबीलो गुजराती अरे तन छोटू पण मन मोटू अरे तन छोटू पण मन मोटू छे खमीर वंती जाती अरे भले लाग तो घोड़ो तू खेल छबीलो गुजराती भाई खेल छबीलो गुजराती भाई खेल छबीलो गुजराती
Lyca.
This is Lyca Radio.
This is Talking Points with Keith Vaz on Lyca Radio 1458 AM.
Welcome back. This is Keith Vaz on Lyca Radio 1458. Remember to tune in and remain tuned in after the news when we will have our Bollywood Hits programme. I am in Hoxton Market, overlooking Hoxton Market, I should say, with my guest, the legendary C.B. Patel of the Asian newspaper industry. C.B., you've arrived here, you were going to do your law, you were going to finish your LLB. How did you get into newspapers?
For first 5 months till March 67, I was a full-time student at universities and the Lincoln's Inn, but also having jobs also, and I realized that it was very challenging. In March 67, I got a job in British Civil Service, House of Commons Parliamentary Press for that matter.
Really?
Which was not very far from my university in Russell Square. And in another 5 months, I had to move my residence 3-4 times. So I realized that I have to have proper mooring in this country. by the time my wife Pushpa joined me in May or June 67, her elder sister came. We were working. But then things went very fast. In October 67, I also was hobnobbing with selling mutual funds, American mutual funds. And I got a job as a promotion and I was making huge money. In those days when my civil service was giving me £9 a week after overtime, I was earning about £220 a week on commissions only.
£220 a week, as much as that?
In 10 weeks' time, I earned about £2,200.
Wow.
So I realized that Goddess Lakshmi is more powerful and more available to me than Goddess Saraswati. So I gave up my final exam, my LLB, Bharat both, focused on my final study. I became manager of that company in London in 1969.
Have you ever regretted giving up that profession? Because obviously you've been hugely successful, but...
In a way, yes. But in a way, in the broader picture, the priority was self-reliance. And service was my main motto. Whatever I did, this might even surprise you, Keith, and many. I was a Communist Party of India's Hamdard sympathizer in 1957, my university days. So, money was important, other things important. Qualification was very important, but something I wanted to do from my heart.
Right. And then you moved to newspapers?
No, I actually went into retail shop business. I bought my first shop in 1968 in Brixton.
Right.
And then I bought about 11 shops within 2 years, 3 years.
So were these traditional corner shops run by a Patel?
Well, you can say that, yes, but then I was very lucky. I did proper study of how the Tesco was developed by Mr. Cohen.
Mm-hmm.
I was very much fortunate. I would buy a completely run-down shop or a cell, do the survey properly, do the renovation, and it would become a mint to me. And then I will sell after a year or 2, 3.
Right.
So by the time, by 73, I became reasonably prosperous. And then accident type thing happened. I went to India for my son's, my son was 3.5 years old. We
This
went
is
to
Merul.
religious, Merul, yes. Yeah. And my father actually became sannyasi in 1960 when I was in East Africa. And I tried many times to trace him, meet him, but he was not willing to talk to us. So after 13 years, in 73, I was told that he was going to spend few months on the river bank of Narmada. So we went there. He was completely not willing to meet us. He was very angry. But then when he saw my son, his grandson, he became very mellowed. He started talking to me. So we went for a walk on the river bank, Narmada. And we only talked for about 20 minutes. So this is an admission. I'm sorry, but he asked me a question, how are you? So I talked about my shops and my properties and my money and my philanthropy, so-called. He was very angry. He says, I don't want to see you again. You are suffering from rabies. And unless you do something worthwhile, don't come and see me. And that is a funny thing. I never met him again in his life for next 7 years when he passed away. But he told me to do akshar jnana, do some work through word, printed word. He was actually a unique sadhu.
So this came from him? Before that, you didn't even consider newspapers?
No, but I knew the importance of print media because of Gandhiji's campaign. But I never thought about. Then I worked in Tanzania also as a volunteer for a paper called Swahili paper called Gurumo, run by a Gujarati fellow. First ever Indian who supported Narere publicly.
Excellent. We're going to take a short break and we're going to be back talking to C.B. Patel. This is Keith Vaz on Lyca Radio 1458.
Talking Points with Keith Vaz on Lyca Radio 1458 AM.
Lyca Radio.
Yono, you only need one.
Yono, you only need one.
Yono, you only need one.
योनो अरे भाई ये योनो है क्या?
Yono is the all-in-one mobile banking app from SBI UK. Send money to India 24/7 and get the preferred rates for rupee remittances. Open a fixed deposit account or cash ISAs. You can even view your SBI India accounts. Download Yono SBI UK mobile app today because now you need only one.
SBI UK Limited is authorised by the PRA and regulated by the FCA and the PRA.
Lyca Phone Shop limited offers. Save hundreds of pounds on iPhone, Samsung, Oppo and Alcatel. Exclusive offers on boom buds and Bluetooth headphones. Up to 50% off SIM bundles like 40 gigabyte SIM, unlimited minutes and text plus 100 international minutes, just £20 per month. All the products available to purchase via flexible payment options. Buy now, pay later. Slice it in 3. Spread the cost by Klarna Finance. Visit eshop.lycamobile.co.uk. Offers valid while stocks last. T&C apply.
Stock clearance sale starts now at K Furniture. Best living, dining, beds and bedroom furniture at unbeatable prices. Immediate delivery, 0% interest-free credit. T&C apply. Cricklewood, Kenton and Hatchend. Hurry, only while stocks last.
Great news for customers of SBI UK. Get £10 for the first money transfer carried out between 10th of March and the 10th of April 2020 using the YONO SBI UK mobile app. Visit sbiuk.com for details. T's and C's apply.
Lyca Cash and Carry Haze, Amrit House, Springfield Road, Haze. कोरोना वायरस के संकट की इस घड़ी में अपने क्लाइंट्स, अपने देश और समाज के साथ खड़े हैं। ऐसे वक्त में कुछ दुकानदारों द्वारा आवश्यक चीजों की कीमतें बढ़ाने से हम बेहद दुखी हैं और इसकी कड़ी निंदा करते हैं। Lyca Cash and Carry Haze में आपको सारा सामान नॉर्मल प्राइस पर ही मिलेगा। हालांकि सप्लायर की प्राइसेस पर हमारा जोर नहीं है। याद रखिए, Lyca Cash and Carry Haze सिर्फ कारोबार ही नहीं, आपका परिवार है।
Lyca Radio.
Talking Points with Keith Faz on Lyca Radio 1458 AM.
Lyca Radio.
Welcome back. This is Keith Faz on Talking Points with CB Patel, the newspaper publisher. And we're on Lyca Radio 1458. CB, so you've, on the banks of the river, you talked to your dad and he mentioned the printed word. He said, give something back. So is then when you came back and decided to start with your newspapers?
But I was confused because I was a shopkeeper, I was a property owner. Did not know about print media, but I went for a retreat. And I thought very carefully, I read also, and I decided to go into print media. But when Gujarat Samachar was offered to me, I took it over, where angels trade carefully, fools rush. And I rushed into it. I lost some money, but eventually we were able to make it a viable publication. Then we launched New Life, an English paper, within 1 year in 1977. And then the rest is history.
Indeed. So we're going to talk about this history because it's no ordinary paper. 48 years. 2 years' time it will be 50, of course. It just doesn't print the news. It campaigns. I want you to tell us a little bit about some of those campaigns. For example, one of the biggest of all campaigns was the campaign over the Hare Krishna temple in Watford. Do you think that you set a benchmark for other newspapers, not just reporting the news, but actually taking a position that was in support of the British Asian community, in particular, in this case, the Hindu community, and you campaigned vigorously to get that permission for that temple?
I'll put it this way, Keith. I am very clear that the role of a newspaper is not to create news, to publish news. But I also clear that on one hand I tell my journalists we've got 5 simple objectives: to inform, to entertain, to inspire, to energize and empower our readers and community we serve. And in that course, if there is a apparent injustice, it requires campaigning. It is our responsibility. That's why Hare Krishna Temple movement, yes, it came later on, but first campaign was about Immigration Nationality Act. And I must say,
but that's always been a theme. Are you surprised that 48 years later, you're still talking about immigration and nationality?
In a way, yes, but the world is very different. I must say that since 1966, there are so many improvements in the race relations in this country. And after all, it is because the British people are so tolerant and so fair-minded. It is the politicians who are making life miserable for all immigrants, not only Asians, many other immigrants. The first campaign was against Margaret Thatcher's nationality and immigration laws. But to her credit, she knew it and still she insisted that I go with her to India in 1981 when she went as the Prime Minister. But campaigns are for a purpose. I have never ever taken advantage or disadvantage of campaign.
Another campaign was to get some direct flights between London Heathrow Airport and Ahmedabad International Airport. Again, the newspaper leading, not following. Not reporting the news, but actually making the news.
But it was actually people's demand. People were really worried about the time they spent and changing plane in Delhi or Mumbai. And the money also. And this I might bring Narendra Modi into this, if I may. In 2002, he was Chief Minister of Gujarat.
Yeah.
And Mr. Vajpayee was Prime Minister of India. And I went to see Mr. Modi and I gave all the details. I always believe in preparing proper dossier documents.
Of course.
The passenger flow,
well,
etc.
You're a newspaper man. You have to do these things.
Then they started direct flight. But unfortunately, the government changed in 2004 and they stopped the flight. And they gave flimsy reasons about the traffic flow and everything. Again, we started campaign and you also helped me a lot, Keith, and other people also in the media. Eventually, it was a political decision.
Yeah.
But when Modi became Prime Minister again, because Narendra Modi used to tell me in Gujarat, every few months I was there, that look, CB, I can't do anything. I have recommended, but Delhi government is not under my control. I said, fine. So in 2015, he became Prime Minister.
Indeed.
I said, now Narendra Bhai, I said, look, no more. Tell me, is our demand justifiable or not?
We're going to come back to your relationship with Narendra Modi in our next segment, but we're going to close this one with your second song, which you have chosen. Tell us what that song is, and tell us why this particular song is so important to you in your incredible life.
Tari aankh no feeni tara bolano bandani. It's a beautiful song, romantic song.
But what does it mean, and why is it important to you?
It's spiritually romantic. It is not only you look at the man or a woman and praise his or her eyes and other things, but it is values. It is your principles.
Okay, so let's have a listen to that, the second choice of my guest today, CB Patel. And join me again shortly. This is Keith Vaz on Lyca Radio 1458.
This is Talking Points with Keith Vaz on Lyca Radio 1458 AM.
Lyca Radio.
बंधाणी तारा रूपनी पूनम नो पागल एक लो तारा रूपनी पूनम नो पागल एक लो तारी आँख नो अफीणी तारा बोल नो बंधाणी तारा रूपनी पूनम नो पागल एक लो तारा रूपनी पूनम नो पागल एक लो आज पीवूं दर्शन नो अमृत काल कसूं बलकावो आज पीवूं दर्शन नो अमृत काल कसूं बलकावो ताल पुरावे दिलनी धड़कन प्रीत बजावे पावो तारी मस्ती नो मत वालो आशक एक लो तारी मस्ती नो मत वालो आशक एक लो तारी आँख नो अफीणी तारा बोलनो बंधाणी तारा रूपनी पूनम नो पागल एकलो तारा रूपनी पूनम नो पागल एकलो पड़खे परबड़ी आंखों पूछे पियावो पाखोनी पड़खे परबड़ी आंखों पूछे पियावो अदल बदल तन मननी मौसम अदल बदल तन मननी मौसम चातक नो चकरावो तारा रंग नगर नो रसियो नगर एकलो तारा रंग नगर नो रसियो नगर एकलो तारी आँख नो अफीणी तारा बोलनो बंधाणी तारा रूपनी पूनम नो पागल एकलो तारा रूपनी पूनम नो पागल एकलो तारा रूपनी पूनम नो पागल एकलो तारा रूपनी पूनम नो पागल एकलो
Lyca.
This is Lyca Radio.
Talking Points with Keith Vaz on Lyca Radio 1458 AM.
Lyca Radio.
Visit travelhubltd.co.uk and get unbeatable deal on any hotel anywhere in the world. Yes, any hotel anywhere in the world.
For the cruise, tailor-made holiday, hotel bookings and honeymoon packages, हमसे सस्ता कहीं नहीं मिल सकता. Call Travel Hub 24/7 on 0208 782 8833 or visit travelhubltd.co.uk.
Travel Hub, best service with unbeatable price.
At all protected.
T's and C's apply. Are you running a pharmacy? Then you need electronic till that tailor-made for pharmacy. Call ePOS Direct on 02082426130 for complete ePOS package for just £18 a week. ePOS Direct on 02082426130.
How would you like 3 times the data without paying a penny more? Lyca Mobile now has tripled UK Plan Gold's data from 5 gigabytes to a phone-busting 15 gigabytes. The plan also comes with 250 UK minutes, unlimited text and EU roaming included, all for the low price of £15 for 30 days. This limited time offer is available to all customers at lycamobile.co.uk. Terms and conditions apply. Lyca Mobile.
Great news for customers of SBI UK. Get £10 for the first money transfer carried out between 10th of March and the 10th of April 2020 using the YONO SBI UK mobile app. Visit sbiuk.com for details. T's and C's apply.
Are you building your business or promoting a brand? Do you need new customers? Or do you need to keep your name in the mind of all your customers? Then you need to advertise on Lyca Radio 1458 and Dilsey 1035. Our stations cater for a large audience of South Asians who live and work in and around Greater London. Call our experienced sales team on 0207 132 1458 and you can be on air in no time at all. That's 0207 132 1458.
This is Lyca Radio.
With the latest traffic and travel next.
You're in charge of hiring and Indeed has solutions, like sponsored jobs, which increase the visibility of your post in search results to make sure the right candidates find you faster. We also give you the pigeon of perception, who only coos when you find the perfect CV, or when he's hungry. OK, no pigeon then, but there are sponsored jobs.
See why more than 250,000 companies in the UK use Indeed for hiring. Visit Indeed.com/redeem today and get a free sponsored job upgrade on your first posting. Terms, conditions and exclusions apply.
Lyca Radio. Travel update.
I'm Paula Brett. The eastbound M4 has a lane blocked by a broken down car. That's between Junction 3 for Hayes and Heston and Junction 2 for Brentford. The southbound M23, of course, remains closed for these ongoing roadworks. That's from the M25 to Junction 10 for Crawley, causing a delay to build up on the anti-clockwise M25 approaching the closure. Harold Wood and the A12 Colchester Road is building near Whitelands Way as people head to the shops. And a similar story in Sidcup, the A223, slow in both directions between Ruxley Corner and the Sidcup bypass. In Chiswick, the A316 at the Great Chertsey Road, of course, at Ensall Road, the traffic lights are out of action. Do take extra care if you're headed that way. Onto your tubes and trains, heavy restrictions across the network, of course. A couple of key things: no service on the Circle line, no service on the Bakerloo line between Queen's Park and Harrow and Wealdstone, and a heavily reduced Hammersmith and City line, a waiting time there of up to 15 minutes. And that's the latest traffic and travel.
Lyca Radio.
This is Lyca Radio.
Lyca Radio.
Happy weekend by MeraBoiler.com. Their special offer: Valiant boiler with 10 years part and labor guarantee with 0% finance available. MeraBoiler.com.
This is Talking Points with Keith Vaz on Lyca Radio 1458 AM.
Welcome back. This is Keith Vaz on Lyca Radio 1458. Please stay tuned after the news at 11 o'clock when we will be having our Bollywood Hits programme. I'm talking to CB. CB, you mentioned Narendra Modi. Now, we're sitting in this room and I can remember this swing at the far end of this room. When I was in here and sitting on that swing was the then Narendra Modi, who was denied a visa. He was not allowed to get his visa by the then British government. Eventually, he got the visa, and you asked me to come and meet him. And I was sitting here, and he was sitting on that swing, swinging backwards and forwards. Did you actually believe that Modi, with his history, was going to become Prime Minister?
The answer was very clear. I wrote in my papers also. But as a Chief Minister, Narendra Bhai Modi came here in August 2003 and he opened Shakti Hall, one of the floor here. But I must tell you, I am not just supporter of Modi as such, but I know Modi as a young man in his 20s. The poems he wrote, the articles he wrote, and I've got 7 books of Narendra Modi's contribution in Gujarati.
But how does that young man with his poems relate to the towering figure we have now and the controversies that all Indian leaders have to go through? But in particular, when you believe so strongly in India as a united country, are you worried about maybe this not becoming united anymore?
First of all, India is very united. It was united except for those centuries where India was under the European rule. And India will remain united for some reasons also.
And why is Modi special to you? Obviously, you've got a particular
Narendra Modi is
relationship.
special to me because I happen to know every Prime Minister of India since Indira Gandhi. I met them.
And where would you rate him? You have a league table. You're a fan of Indira Gandhi's. You met her many times.
Indira Gandhi also was very close to me, but
Better Prime Minister?
She was after all daughter of a Prime Minister.
Of course.
Narendra Modi was just a chai wala. Narendra Modi is totally dedicated. I genuinely believe...
if you had a league table, who would you put at the top of the league table of Indian Prime Ministers?
Indian Prime Ministers on 3 criteria I can give you quick answer. One is dedication. Second thing is capability. And third is forward-looking approach.
And who would you put
Modi
on the
comes
top?
on top.
As politicians are supposed to avoid questions, but I'm putting that to you as a newspaper man. Who would you put on top of the league table?
Everywhere I would say Narendra Modi on top. And I'll give you reasons.
Okay.
First of all, he's a self-made man, but no selfish interest. There is not one scandal of money or women where Modi's name is besmirched. He's also very forward-looking. Look at India's transformation. And I cannot take most of your valuable time. He used modern IT for many things. There is no corruption in state level, that level. And third thing, he can solve problems. You talked about unity of India. The present controversy about Citizenship Amendment Act or Article 370. I must say that I am very perturbed that people who are supposed to be knowledgeable, they are deliberately spreading the false picture. That is politics. In India, I would say, and I have said in my own columns also, Narendra Modi is completely correct and proper on this and other laws. One thing about Modi is simple. He is not for Hindus or not against Muslims. He is not for Hindus or not for Muslims. He is only and only for India.
Okay, we are now going to take our final break, and you are going to give us your final song. Song number 3 from CB Patel, who's our DJ for this morning. What's this song? And you don't need to sing it, by the way, because we've got the original ready. What's this song, and why is this important to you, CB Patel?
It's a beautiful song. I can't sing properly.
You sing
I am a bird
amazingly.
far away from where I was staying. And I'm remembering the places where I grew up.
Sure.
My friends, the incidents. It's a beautiful song. Your
Okay,
listeners will like it.
Let us hear it, and we'll be back shortly with CB Patel. This is Keith Faz on Lyca Radio 1458.
तैनू इतना मैं प्यार करां एक पल विच साबार करां तू जावे जे मैनू छड़ के मौत दा इंतजार करां कि तेरे लिए दुनिया छोड़ दी है तुझ पे ही सांस आके रुके मैं तुझको कितना चाहता हूँ ये तू कभी सोच ना सके तेरे लिए दुनिया छोड़ दी है तुझ पे ही सांस आके रुके मैं तुझको कितना चाहता हूँ ये तू कभी सोच ना सके मुझको जाना है कहाँ के तू ही सफर है आखिरी
कि तेरे बिना जीना मुमकिन नहीं ना देना कभी मुझको तू फासले मैं तुझको कितना चाहती हूँ ये तू कभी सोच ना सके
तेरे लिए दुनिया छोड़ दी है तुझ पे ही सांस आके रुके मैं तुझको कितना चाहता हूँ ये तू कभी सोच ना सके चले ये दुनिया भर के सब रास्ते मैं तुझको कितना चाहता हूँ ये तू कभी सोच ना सके तेरे लिए दुनिया छोड़ दी है तुझ पे ही सांस आके रुके मैं तुझको कितना चाहता हूँ ये तू कभी सोच ना सके
Lyca Radio.
Welcome back. This is Keith Faz on Lyca Radio 1458, talking to my guest today, the doyen of Asian publications, CB Patel. CB, you talked about Modi and you've ranked him according to Indian politicians. But of course, you're British. You're British with an amazing Indian heritage. Tell us about the British Prime Ministers. You've known all of them since you arrived in this country. You've met every one of them personally. Who would you rank at the top and why?
From Harold Wilson to the present Prime Minister. Remember, Keith, the beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. To me, the best Prime Minister which we were not able to utilize properly was David Cameron. He was decent, he was a good man, but he could not play politics with some little-minded MPs, Eurosceptics.
So you put him at the top of your list, ahead of
I
Margaret
would say
Thatcher,
he was a decent Prime Minister, whom we did not know how to use properly.
And what is your advice to a young journalist who happens to be of Indian origin? We've now had Indian origin journalists who've edited newspapers like The Independent. They're political editors of the television news, and they're everywhere. You switch on Sky News, you switch on the London News, there are Asian journalists and black journalists who, in a sense, are following in your footsteps. What's your advice to them if they want to maybe own their own newspaper?
I would say that any journalist, not only journalists, but people in the media, print media or electronic media, have a very, very good, noble job opportunity to serve. Money may not be there. I might even tell you, Keith, that if today my company is losing money, you can look at the company house. We're losing a lot of money, but we subsidize because I believe in the cause. I believe that print media, unless the media has principles and priorities and integrity, it won't be the watchdog. All the different vehicles of the governance.
Sadly, we've come to the end of this programme, at least the end of my interview with CB Patel, which has been fascinating because his journey has been the journey of the Asian community over the last 5 decades, half a century. And of course, he's celebrating, as I've said, his birthday in just a few weeks' time. He's a type 2 diabetic. However, he loves his sweets, and I hear mithai is hidden around this flat by Pushpa because she doesn't want you to indulge. Now, I've got some quick-fire questions for you, CB Patel, because you're very used to giving quick-fire questions to politicians. So let's hear it. The Times or The Guardian?
Times.
Air India or Emirates?
Of course, Air India.
Ahmedabad or Gandhinagar?
Gandhinagar.
And because I know you like Bollywood movies, Hema Malini or Rekha?
Rekha. Not only beautiful, but very wise, very sensible woman.
That was CB Patel, the doyen of Asian broadcasting. CB, it's been an honour and a privilege to talk to you. Knowing your journey is the journey of the Asian community in the United Kingdom. Thank you for what you've done. Happy birthday on behalf of all the listeners of Lyca Radio for your 83rd birthday, which is taking place on the 9th of April. And then keep away from those cakes and sweets. So thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you very much indeed. And all the best to Lyca Radio and to Keith Faz also.
Lyca Radio.
गगन ना पंखेरो तू कानो पाछो आवे मन तारी मन तारी याद सतावे ओ नील गगन ना पंखेरो पंखेरो साथे रमता साथे परता साथे ना बलड़ी मां तरता एक दरियानू मौजू आव्यू वार न लागी तुझने सरता आज लगी तारी वाट जाऊं छू आज लगी तारी वाट जाऊं छू तारो कोई संदेशो लावे ओ तारो कोई संदेशो लावे मन तारी याद सतावे ओ नील गगन ना पंखेरू पंखेरू तारा बिना ओ जीवन साथी जीवन सुनू सुनू भासे पाखों पामी उड़ी गयो तू जई बैठो ऊंचे आकाशे केम करी हूँ आऊं तारी पासे केम करी हूँ आऊं तारी पासे मन कोई नव मार्ग बतावे ओ मन कोई नव मार्ग बतावे मन तारी याद सतावे ओ नील गगन ना पंखेरो पंखेरो मोर लसम वाटलड़ी जो और में हुला तारी बिनू बारंबार हूँ तूने सांभल विनती मारी तारी पास छे साधन सौवे तारी पास छे साधन सौवे तू कानव मने बुलावे तू कानव मने बुलावे मन तारी याद सतावे ओ नील गगन ना पंखेरू तू कानव पाछो आवे मन तारी याद सतावे ओ नील गगन ना पंखेरू पंखेरू
Talking Points with Keith Faz on Lyca Radio 1458 AM.
We've come to the end of this week's show. My thanks to my guest, C.B. Patel, the editor and legendary publisher, my production team of Rupi and Lucas. Each week, as you know, I sign off with one of my favourite songs. This week we travel back to 1997, and it is a tribute song to one of India's greatest playback singers, who I had the pleasure of meeting and dining with. Asha, as a name, means hope. It's also the name of a woman who has sung over 12,000 songs and is called Saadi Rani, Punjabi for our Queen. This has been Keith Vaz on Lyca Radio 1458. Stay tuned for Bollywood Hits, which follows the news. But before that, let's hear Corner Shop's Brimful of Asha. Stay safe.
There's dancing behind movie scenes, behind the movie scene. Saadi Rani, she's the one that keeps the dream alive. From the morning past the evening to the end of the light. Brimful of Asha on the 45. Well, it's a brimful of Asha on the 45. Brimful of Asha on the 45. Well, it's a brimful of Asha on the 45. And dancing behind movie scenes, behind those movie screens. Asha Bartley, she's the one that keeps the dream alive. From the morning past the evening to the end of the light. pillow. Everybody needs a bosom. Mine's on the 45. Illuminate the main streets and the cinema aisles. We don't care about no government warning about that promotion of the simple life of the damn fair building. Brim full of Asher on the 45. Well, it's a brim full of Asher on the 45. Brim full of Asher on the 45. Well, it's a brim full of Asher on the 45. Everybody needs a bosom for pillow. Everybody needs a bosom. Everybody needs a bosom for pillow. Everybody needs a bosom. Everybody needs a bosom for pillow. Everybody needs a bosom. Everybody needs a bosom for pillow. Everybody needs a bosom. Everybody needs a bosom for pillow. Everybody needs a bosom. Mine's on the 45.
Are you running a retail business? Then you need electronic till that tailor-made for retail. Call ePOS Direct on 020-8242-6130 for complete ePOS package for just £18 a week. ePOS Direct on 020-8242-6130.
Pakistan is calling. The mobile plan you've been waiting for has arrived. You can now get 1,000 minutes to call Pakistan from your Lyca mobile with Pakistan Plus M bundle. You can also get 3 GB of data and 1,000 minutes and text in the UK. All of that for the low price of £20 for 30 days. Never miss the chance to keep in touch with your family again with Lyca Mobile. Visit lycamobile.co.uk to see the full offer today. T&Cs apply. Lyca Mobile.
पता है सामने वाले अंकल को घर का कितना अच्छा रेंट मिल रहा है?
HMO लाइसेंस है उनके पास। फेथ एंड को एस्टेट्स ने गारंटीड रेंट पर चढ़ाया है और HMO लाइसेंस लेने में भी मदद करते हैं।
Contact Faith and Co Estates on 0208-574-1700. They take HMO licensed properties on guaranteed for 3, 5 or 7 years on full management.
Great news for customers of SBI UK. Get £10 for the first money transfer carried out between 10th of March and the 10th of April 2020 using the YONO SBI UK mobile app. Visit sbiuk.com for details. T's and C's apply.
Are you building your business or promoting a brand? Do you need new customers? Or do you need to keep your name in the mind of all your customers? Then you need to advertise on Lyca Radio 1458 and Dilsey 1035. Our stations cater for a large audience of South Asians who live and work in and around Greater London. Call our experienced sales team on 0207 132 1458 and you can be on air in no time at all. That's 0207 132 1458.
We all know how hard the NHS are working right now. Many of them haven't had the chance to shop for themselves. So from this Sunday, and every Sunday, all Tesco stores will prioritise a browsing hour before checkouts open for NHS workers, giving them dedicated time to shop for their essentials. Because now, more than ever, every little helps. Excludes express stores. See tesco.com for more details.
On 1458 in London.
On your mobile.
And on DAB Digital Radio.
This is Lyca Radio.
From the Sky News Centre at 11. A further 7 patients who'd been diagnosed with COVID-19 have died in Wales, taking the total to 12. The Chief Medical Officer says all of them had either underlying health conditions or were over 70. 5 died in Newport's Royal Gwent Hospital, with 1 each at Neville Hall in Abergavenny and Prince Charles Hospital in Merthyr Tydfil. 6,000 NHS staff have signed an open letter to Boris Johnson demanding more protective equipment. Dr Jenny Vaughan's a consultant and says things have improved in recent days, but staff are still concerned.
There are still problems in certain areas. Some of the examples of the things we're hearing is that doctors are saying some of them are having to go into Screwfix and get masks to protect themselves. And also, some of the supplies are arriving and they appear to be out of date.
Stay away from your mum this Mothering Sunday. That's the message from Boris Johnson. The Prime Minister's warning an elderly or vulnerable parent is much more likely to die from coronavirus, and it's impossible to sugarcoat the threat. Community Secretary Robert Jenrick says the advice today is clear.
I know it's Mother's Day and I know it's tough and it goes against everything that we want to do as a family, but don't go and see your mum. Give her a phone call, Skype her, FaceTime her, tell her that you love her and that we're going to get through this together.
But Lynn Dalton, who has terminal cancer and is self-isolating, says she will be seeing her children today.
I don't particularly want to flout the rules, but this is probably going to be their last Mother's Day. I think I am staying strong. I've got a great support network. I've got wonderful children. I've got some great sisters and an extended family who are all brilliant.
Russia's military will begin sending medical help to Italy from today. The country is the world's hardest hit by the outbreak, with more than 53,000 cases and almost 5,000 people have died. That's the latest. I'm Tanya Snuggs.
All about the music.
All about the music.
You're listening to Lyca Radio.
Lyca Radio weather.
All right, an update this mid-morning, Sunday 22nd of March. Dry, sunny start to the morning. Brisk easterly winds will give a chilly feel despite the sunny skies. Top temperature 9 degrees Celsius.
The flight update is brought to you by Skylord Travel in association with Air France.
All right, flight update. Delhi to London Heathrow, BA flight 256, arriving 3:20 p.m. on time. Mumbai to London Heathrow, BA flight 198, arriving 5:55 p.m. today. And then Dubai to London Heathrow, some flights have been added. Emirates flight 31 is landing at 4:10 p.m. this afternoon, and BA flight 104 arriving at 6 p.m. this evening.
The flight update was brought to you by Skylord Travel. For all your travel needs, call 0208 582 1111 or visit skylordtravel.com.
Lyca Radio.
All about the music.
You're listening to
Lyca Radio. This show is sponsored by B4U Music, the UK's #1 Bollywood music channel, on Sky 702 and Virgin 816.
किते चलिए मूड बना के किते चलिए तू किते चलिए नींद उड़ा के बेबी तू ममा लगदी फ्लोर पे आके ममा लगदी तू मैनू अपना चक्कर छुपा के जावे ना जावे तू मुझे तू सजा दे पर इस दिल को न दगा दे मेरा दिल नहीं जो तेरा पा हबीबी तू ओ बेबी तेरे सुरमा तेरे चुमका बड़ा सुम लगदा नहीं तेरे जुल्मा तेरे नखरा कहने ने हबीबी तू when you shaking that like Shakira when you shaking that baby girl baby तेरे चुमका oh yeah कहने ने हबीबी तू
मेरे हुस्न ते सारे मरते तू मैनू वेखदा भी नहीं तू ते मैनू प्यार नहीं करदा पर मैं ते मरदी जद तुरदी लक नू हिला के सारे तकदे भी नहीं नी तो दिल दा चैन चुरा के जावे ना जावे तू
मुझे तू सजा दे
पर इस दिल को न दगा दे मेरा दिल नहीं जो तेरे पा हबीबी तू
oh baby तेरे सुरमा तेरे चुमका बड़ा सुम लगदा नहीं तेरे जुल्मा तेरे नखरा कहने ने हबीबी तू when you shaking that like Shakira when you shaking that baby girl baby तेरे चुमका oh yeah कहने ने हबीबी तू Slow it down, girl, come and talk to